All right, welcome to the Explainer. So, after all the rumors, all the hype, OpenAI's GPT-5 is finally here and rolling out. But the real question on everyone's mind is this the game changer we've been waiting for? Let's dig in and see what the first look really tells us.
You know, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, he really set the bar sky high. He said using GPT-5 should feel like having a PhD-level expert you can ask about, well, anything. But is that what we actually got? Is this a whole new chapter for AI, or is it more of a small step up? That's exactly what we're going to figure out. And just to be clear, Altman wasn't shy about how big this upgrade is supposed to be. I mean, listen to that quote. The message is pretty blunt. The jump from GPT-4 to 5 isn't just a little hop. It's meant to be a massive leap that leaves the old version looking ancient. So, let's see if the reality matches the hype.
To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to break it down into 4 parts. First, we'll cover the single biggest change you'll notice right away. Then, we'll get into the exciting stuff, its new superpowers. After that, we've got to talk about where it misses the mark. And to wrap it all up, we'll give you the final verdict on what this all means for you.
Okay, let's get right into it. The first, and maybe the most important improvement, isn't really about raw brain power, it's about making things simple. OpenAI totally changed how we use their best models.
So if you were a regular ChatGPT user, you definitely remember this headache. You'd open it up and just see this confusing menu of models. Which one's for code? Which one's for writing an email? It was a total guessing game. And honestly, it was kind of annoying. Just way too many choices. Well, good news. That whole confusing maze is gone. GPT-5 is now just one single system. The best way to think about it is that it has this smart router inside. You ask a simple question, it gives you a quick, lightweight answer. But if you ask it to do something really complex, like write a bunch of code, it automatically switches to a more powerful mode. The key is, it decides for you, so it's totally seamless.
Okay, so that's the big change under the hood. Now for the really fun part. What new superpowers does this actually give you? What can GPT-5 do that the old one just couldn't?
This is the big ambition, right? To make an AI that feels less like a search engine and more like a real expert collaborator. And you see that ambition come to life the most in the 2 areas where it's improved the most: its ability to code and its ability to reason.
And there's no better way to see this than with a little test. Someone asked both models to make me a game of Tetris. The difference is night and day. GPT-4, it made a game, sure, it worked. But GPT-5, with the exact same simple prompt, just knew what makes a game fun. It added a score, it added levels, it even added that little preview of the next piece, and it did all that without being asked. Oh, and it did it in about a third of the time.
Sam Altman told this story about wanting to recreate the old Snake game from his calculator and doing it in just seconds with GPT-5. And that's the point. This isn't just about making coding a little easier. It's about a massive shift toward being able to turn a simple idea, a vibe, into a real working piece of software almost instantly. That right there could completely change how we build things.
It's also a much better writer. When asked to create a script about the spectacular failure of the Windows Phone, GPT-4 gave back something that read like a Wikipedia article. Kind of dry, lots of facts. GPT-5, on the other hand, gave back something with actual personality. It used clever analogies, suggested camera shots, and just understood the story it was trying to tell. It's way less of that robotic AI slop and a much, much better starting point.
Okay, but before we all get too excited and declare this the perfect AI, we need a serious dose of reality. Because in some really important areas, GPT-5 hasn't gotten much better. And in one key place, it's actually gotten worse. Let's start with the biggest problem, the elephant in the room: hallucinations. It still just makes stuff up. When one reviewer asked for tech products made by food companies, both models just went for it. GPT-4 invented a McDonald's cell phone. GPT-5 invented Oreo smart speakers. The takeaway here is crystal clear. Even though it's smarter, it is not a fact checker. You still have to verify everything it tells you.
And then there's this, which is honestly kind of a shock. Reviewers found that GPT-5 is just plain worse at making images than GPT-4 was. And not just by a little bit. The pictures it generates are often boring, badly composed, and just not very creative. For a model that's supposed to be a big upgrade, this is a really strange step backward.
And all of this leads to a really important point that a lot of the early reviewers made. Yeah, the coding improvements are huge, but for a lot of people, the overall feeling is that this isn't that jaw-dropping moment we had going from GPT-3 to GPT-4. It's a really solid evolution, for sure, but maybe not the total revolution we were braced for.
So, let's pull this all together. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad, And we've seen the surprisingly worse. What's the final report card? What's the main takeaway for you?
Okay, so here's the bottom line. GPT-5 is a fantastic upgrade for knowledge work. That new unified model makes life so much easier. The coding and reasoning are truly next level, and its writing just feels more human. But those big wins are balanced by some real problems. It still makes things up, its art skills took a nosedive, and for some, the upgrade just feels like a solid step, not a giant leap.
So how do you get your hands on this? Well, the great news is that everyone gets to try it, even if you're a free user. But of course, there's a catch. Free users get a pretty limited number of prompts, somewhere around 8 to 10 a day, on the most powerful version. Once you hit your limit, it switches you to a less powerful model for the rest of the day.
And really that brings us to the final thought here. GPT-5 is, without a doubt, a more powerful tool. It's faster, it's more intuitive, it's smarter in a lot of key ways. But as the tool gets this good, the spotlight kind of shifts from the AI's limits to our own. The real challenge isn't about what the AI can do anymore. It's about whether we can learn to ask the right questions to really unlock what it's capable of.